I've been cooking. It's camp outside. Hey everyone, how's it going? Hi, my name is Endeavorance. It is Wednesday, April 24th. And there's a year in there somewhere in the mix. No one can say for sure. Hello everybody, how are you all doing? I hope that you are doing extra great. I hope that you're doing super also wonderfully. Which is, hello. Just Jazz, welcome in, says, hello, hope everyone's having a good day. Welcome to the stream, welcome to chat. Wonderful to have you. How is it going, everybody? It looks like Coffee Mom has the ball and was first to chat. So amazing, incredible plays. Really just wonderful all around. I think we did a lot of really good stuff here today. You will notice I have made a change and we'll see how it goes. It might break. And if it does break, we'll see what happens. But I have gone ahead and made it so that the stream software that I'm using, the stream overlay stuff that I've been building, automatically rolls for me. No more finicking. So anybody who redeems a dice roll or a subscribe or gift subscriptions or something like that, it will roll a 3D physics-based D20 properly. It'll roll as many D20s as you're supposed to get, and then automatically sum up your outcome and add it to the thing and do everything. Which is, there's one. Hey, well done. Hey, there's another one. Neat. There's more. And I also made it so that what's it called? The redeem a die thing. Hello. Is now redeemable 4 times per stream and is cheaper. So a little bit easier to participate if you aren't able to subscribe, which is pretty hype, I think. Ronan Queen says, that's kind of not terribly exciting. I'm very sorry. But I don't know what to say. So it took me a lot of effort to build, and I'm going to stick with it and see how things shake out. Most likely what's going to happen is, one, I can make it change colors. So I will probably try to make it adopt whatever color you have selected so that your dice will match your colors. I also want to make a few other relatively big changes to how the minigame system works entirely. So we'll see how all that kind of goes, more or less. But I'm excited about it because I didn't think it was going to work, and then I was smashing my head against the wall for it today and finally got it to work, and that made me really happy. So not trying to hate on it, I promise. I understand. It's different from what's been going on, but I think that what's going to happen, what Robin said here. So I think it's cool, better than spending an hour of the stream rolling live. That is kind of the genesis. I love the idea of rolling dice for everything. That's fun. But also, sometimes it's 45 minutes of rolling. And constantly jumping back and forth is just a lot sometimes. So, we'll see. What I want to do, where my head's kind of at for this, is changing the way that the minigame system works so that individual dice aren't the central thing, but they build up to something bigger. And then once we build up to that bigger thing, then we do something. That didn't make any sense at all, but what I'm imagining in my head, and we'll see how this actually shakes out, because it's a matter of implementing it and see if it's fun or not. But what I'm picturing in my head is we'll still have the progress bar, but it'll be much faster to fill up, and it'll always start at 0, and we try to build it up throughout the stream, and when it hits max, it triggers an event, like a mini game of some kind. And then resets and has a bit of a higher cap, and we see how many we can get to in one stream. We'll see. I've got ideas. You know me. Salmon says, hello, Deb. Also, Kate is here. Hello, Kate.
Praise.
What's up? How are you not a VIP? What? Everyone say hi to Kate. And now you're a VIP. So hello and welcome. And everybody say hi. And Kate's amazing. And cool. Where am I? What am I doing? I'm going to say hello to some folks, and then we're going to talk about what we're doing here today, because It's
Focus.
Thank you. Trying. Because today is a special day. It is a World Builder, our first ever World Building Wednesday. And I've got.
Look who's
I'm
out
excited.
here re-upping their sub like some kind
Oofa, that's a 2. I will say, unfortunately, I didn't have time to build in exploding dice yet, so the 20s don't explode currently, but they will. Cool. So, hello, Coffee Mom. Thank you for being first to chat. Hello, Bryce. Hello, Jay Sunshine. Hello, Ronan Queen. Hello, Shroomy. Hello, Mia. Hello, Robin. Hello, Numac. Hello, Anka. Hello, Sylvie. Hello, Bubbles. Hello, Scottish Ducky. Damn, what's up? Hello, with the captain as well. The captain emote. Love it. We love Captain Dev here. Because that's me. Because I am that. Look at me. I'm the Captain Dev. Hello, Shard. Hello, Kens. Hello, Just Jazz. Which I already said hello to. Anybody else? Okay, well, now Kate's properly vipped, which is good. Thank you for the subscribe. 3 months, Salmon. Getting hype. I can dig it. Hopping into streams. Robin says, I joined the Patreon today. What an amazing person. What an incredible specimen. Beautiful human being. Noah, what's up? How's it going? Good to see you. It has been a while. I'm so glad that you're here. And the King of Gay redeemed a praise. I'm so glad that we finally have some royalty here, you know? Like it's easy to feel lost and confused in this gay kingdom.
Is a prime sub right there.
But now we have direction. Thanks to the King of Gay. The minigame goal was reached. Well, damn. Also, eccentric NB. I thought it was. Eccentric NB has followed or subscribed and says hello. I thought it said eccentric baby. I thought it said eccentric baby.
Someone did thank you for that.
Liza with a gifted sub, and that triggered a hype train. Thank you so very much. Let's go to the next minigame thing. So we're gonna get a new sound redeem. So let me add that to the list. New sound redeem. And next on the list is new chalkboard artwork. So if you recall, a while back, we did chalkboard art time where I tried to draw the Atlas Loom logo from memory and it went really badly. So we'll try to draw something new, probably also from memory, and keep it up there for. That's still up there. So it's been literal months. So so we'll have some art time, and that will be great.
Hey, someone gifted subscriptions.
Ronan Queen with 5 gifted subs. That's 5 D20 at once, 58 total. Thank you so incredibly much. I like that. I like when you donate a bunch, it goes. And let me tell you, when I was testing the stuff out, I was like, I wonder how many dice I can roll at once. And I had to try to roll like 1,000 D20s. It worked. Not very fast, but it worked. And it was like the dice couldn't settle. So eventually it was just like, fuck it. I don't care anymore. And the number was just whatever it decided. I can hydrate. Thanks for that. Flynn drawing, you must draw Flynn. Says Bubbles. Shard says Flynn drawing. Sylvie says Dev is a dork. I still take offense. I'm a nerd. Where is the start of the show, by the way? Asks Anka. It's not. He's got to get fed. He's got to get Him's Flinner, which has not happened yet. So once he gets Him's Flinner, then I'll get him out here. Robin says, ever see the Monster Factory where they hack it to just have 1,000 horses? Monster Factory is such a good series. For anyone who hasn't seen Monster Factory, or if you've not heard of Monster Factory is by the McElroy brothers. It's Justin and Griffin. And they basically go into a video game and that has a character creator, and they make the most just fucked up characters imaginable. And then like play the game really ridiculously as that character. And there are some that are like pretty funny, but there are some that are like the hardest that I have laughed while watching a video. Specifically, if you want like the first, if you want, I think that the top two, and these are both like they did like mini series Monster Factories. Normally it's just like a one and done, like they do an episode for a given game. But there were two that stand out that were so good that they did multi-part episodes. One is Second Life, where they create the boy mayor of Second Life, and he tries to run for mayor in Second Life. Doesn't make any sense. Hysterical. One of the funniest things I've ever seen. And then the other one that is like their most famous episode is The Final Pam, which was Fallout 4, I believe. And they just created the most powerful Pam imaginable. She is the final Pam. She's the ultimate life form. And that one actually kind of like broke out of just Monster Factory and became like internet lore. Like Final Pam is the most powerful creature to have ever existed and broke out of Fallout 4. Like that's the canon. Anyway, Monster Factory, excellent series. Go watch it. So funny, so ridiculously funny. Their like slogan is no middle sliders. Because they can't possibly have anything not maxed out either all the way one way, all the way the other. Robin says they put refs into Fallout 76. Really? Yeah, I mean that was a big one. That was a really, really big episode. King of Gay says, damn, just looked those episodes up and saved them. Good. Have fun. It is seriously like I personally prefer between the two the Second Life one, just because it's actually hysterical. They get together, like they throw like a house party at the end, and they invite like everyone to come. It's wild. Just the thumbnail picture sending me, says Bubbles. Yeah, at the end of the Second Life one, they rent property from somebody who plays Second Life seriously, and the rental, like in the rental lease or whatever, it's like no parties allowed. And they're like, well, we're just gonna ignore that. And they host a party, like a ridiculous party. And the owners actually come back. The owners of the lot come back and they're like, you're in violation of our policy. You can't have this party here. And they get kicked out. It's so fucking good. Oh my God. Griffin says, I committed election fraud to instill a child as mayor of an alternative universe. But stuff still happened. What's up? What's up? Welcome in. Hello, Crimson Chain Creations. Says Dev Streaming. Let's go. Let's fucking go, boys. So, I think dogs should vote. Yeah, I say that all the time. That is a quote from that, and I say it all the dog damn time. World building. World building is why we are here today on this Wednesday of world building. Hype train just ended at level 3. Thank you all so very much. Super appreciate it. Okay, world building. I like that, right? Like, I like world building. I want to start by talking a little bit about like what I kind of consider world building, and then we'll jump right into making a world from scratch together as a community exercise, and it will be great. I don't know what this is. I don't know. I'm like reaching out to grab you by the head and shake your head. I don't know. So world building is vast. It is. There's so much that you can do in the space of coming up with the concept of a setting at large. Like, it's more than just, I want to come up with a map and some continents and some rivers and some, land features and whatnot. Like, that's not world building to me. World building can be any creative construction of a setting. And that setting can be a normal planet world with humans and nations and strife, or it could be a ant colony. Like the setting that you make could be a twisting labyrinth that is essentially the entirety of the world to the vast majority of its inhabitants. And that's just what it is. You can scale it down. You can change the concept of what like your residents of your world are, what it means to be a world. The perceived and engageable space that a given creature works with throughout its lifetime is, for all intents and purposes, that creature's world, right? If you have a roly-poly that is just kind of rollying and polying around in your backyard its entire life, that is the roly-poly's world. When I'm thinking about creating, about like world building and starting from like absolute nothing to create something, the first thing I'm thinking is, what shape, what scale are we working at? What is the like base unit here? Are we talking about a globe with continents and oceans? Or are we talking about just in a single location or something more abstract? And so that is more or less where I'm going to start today, after we ride the roller coaster, because I would like to sit, because I've been standing a lot today. So please keep your hands and feet and ears and eyes and worlds inside the vehicle at all times as we ride the roller coaster. Peace, starlings, for an elder is among us. Kryptonite. 13 months. Damn. I also what an odd warning to add before watching. Hello, aloha. I just realized that with the automated dice rolling, depending on how I change things, I could make it so originally I wanted to do, for every month you've been subscribed, you get a die, like a d20 for each month. That could be very fun. A d20 for each month would have meant that Kryptonite just rolled 13 d20s from that resub, which would have caused a torrent of dice on the screen. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll look into that. More numbers instead of less. We like numbers here. Custom die. Yeah, I want to. So the dice rolling like thingy that I am working with allows you to specify like themes and colors. I might look into if I can specify like 3D textures, so I can make like dice with like Flynn on it or something, and then people could like redeem, like you'd be able to like redeem channel point things to like change what your dice that your dice rolls are. You know, we'll see. I literally just today built this, and we'll see how it goes over time. But working on stuff makes me happy. Makes me very happy. Kryptonite says, I do love fistfuls of dice. I do as well. Bubble says, I would redeem all of my points for a Powerpuff die. Is that your name reference? Is Bubbles from Powerpuff Girls? Yeah. Mia says, you also make goals more expensive if you let us roll one per month. Yeah, I mean, I would have to adapt everything. Ooh. That's a 19. Well, bam. +1 for a 20. Hell yeah. You have to make goals more expensive. Yeah, I will either make like adjust goals to be more expensive or change what it means for the bar to fill up. We'll see. Worlds. Let's build one. Bubbles is the best. Bubbles is absolutely the best. Let's be real. No one likes Blossom. Like I can vibe with Buttercup. I get it. I want to go. I would get high with Buttercup, drunk with Bubbles, and I would not hang out with Blossom. I also know that I just talked about doing drugs with literal, like, what, how old are they supposed to be? How old are the Powerpuff Girls? Oh no. Oh no. How old are the Powerpuff Girls? I think they're in. I think. How old are they supposed to be? I'm so confused. Okay, Powerpuff Girls wiki. Okay, Blossom. No, fuck that. Bubbles. Disambiguation? Powerpuff Girls Z? What the fuck? Is that the teen Oh, I can't deal with that. No, I'm not. That's not me. It doesn't say. As far as I can tell, they're like 6. Are you sure about that? Because it doesn't say. She could be anything. It could be one of those like ancient dragons situations, you know, like they do in anime. Maybe they're all like 2,000 years old. You don't know that. So it says they were in literal kindergarten classes. They're just deep undercover. All right, they're just deep undercover.
For an elder.
Crimson with 13 months. Thank you. An elder. Beautiful. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. I am literally going to open up Obsidian. I have a blank Obsidian vault. And I'm going to show you from scratch how I get started. And we're going to work together to build out a world. And I mean, I have nothing planned. So we've quite literally open book. So let us. Nope. There we go. All right. Excellent. Let's bump up the font size just a smidge more if possible. Oh, nope. That's the max. Okay. Too bad. So, let me just check chat here real quick. Writer, hello, says, how's the world building going? It is just about to get started, and I am very excited about that. Coffee Mom says, Deb tries to rationalize having drugs with kids was not on my bingo card. Yeah, let's move past that. Crimson. Sylvie says, can I suggest a basis? Sure. I was just about to open up the floor. Rustable Cub says, good morrow. Hello, hello, hello. Bubble says, one world I love the most and pull inspiration from often is Atla. Okay, so how about this? Let's get everyone just like dump out suggestions for fun inspirations or worlds that you like, and we'll pull a little bit from like everyone's sort of preferences and make something new that is better than the sum of its parts. Oh, I also want to say, I don't know how this is going to look at the end, but my intention for all World Building Wednesday stuff, since we're doing this collaboratively as a community, is to release whatever we end up making. So once if this is anything, then I will publish it online for folks to be able to fetch and explore for their own dang selves, and feel free to continue working on it if you would like to. So everything that we make here is going to be available after the show. So that's good. Sylvie says, Dev the Druid, giving his life to stop an existential level threat, and his last breath is used to give Flynn a voice that everyone can understand, leading to the rise of Flynn as the highest priest and ruler of the world. I like it. Let's see what people are saying here. So Atla, Flynn being the ruler of the world, Dragon Riders of Pern, a space colony. Ronan Queen says, a space colony shaped like a coral reef in space. Love that. Love space coral. Yeah. That's a really great thing, actually. That's a tactic I use a lot, is take two words that don't usually go together and then just put them together. Space coral. Hell yeah. That sounds great. There's not enough cool 20s era magic stories. Okay. Jungle in the sky type of world, all just islands. So Anka, that actually is really close to One of my original plans for tonight was to prepare a concept for a world and then build it out. And the world that I was going to build out was going to be entirely on the branches of trees that extend endlessly downwards into an infinite void. There are just these like elder trees that have huge branches, and it was probably going to be like birds and critters and stuff would be the population. And it was just, yeah. Jetson but trees. Exactly. Did we ever confirm that the Jetsons took place at the same time as the Flintstones? Is that real, or did I make that up? I thought the whole thing was like the Jetsons were technically above the Flintstones world. Crimson says, my favorite IP is Xenoblade Chronicles game series, but it may be too sci-fi for this potentially fantasy setting. This can be anything. It doesn't have to be fantasy, doesn't have to be sci-fi, it can be anything. Seth says, queer knights competing for love and honor, but not necessarily all about muscles. I do love making scenarios that have non-violent conflict resolution or non-violent competition. Always good. Just Daz says, big diverse city. That's always fun too. Like a city world where it's just like the one thing. That works really well for a game, my go-to, a game like Blades in the Dark, where it's supposed to all take place within city limits. Like you're not really supposed to be able to go outside city limits. And one of my favorite worlds that I put together was for a Blades campaign that was a post-climate apocalypse Washington, D.C., where essentially the city was encased in a giant solar shield to prevent like the deadly radiation of the sun from killing everybody. And that meant that you could not leave the city. You had to stay within the dome. Robin says, I love the world building they took from Atla to Legend of Korra. I love how the world changes over time. Hell yeah. Griffin says, Bloodborne. Writer also says Bloodborne. Seth says, no, same universe, but I'm pretty sure they're different times. I'm assuming that's referring to the Jetsons and Flintstones. There was definitely crossover episodes, though. Hello, Dice. What's up? Welcome in. Okay, so we've got some options here. I'm gonna start by just compiling some thoughts. So we've got Flynn is a world leader somehow. We've got Dragon Riders. We've got Giant City. Xenoblade Chronicles, I don't know a ton about specifically, aside from the weapons are women. That's all I know about that series. Oh, yeah. Space Coral. It's very good. It's very good. Let's see. Robin says, there's a cool post-apocalyptic short web series called Orbital Redux. Used to be on Alpha. It is basically space truckers mining on the moon after hackers accidentally set off nuclear bombs around the world. It happens. You know, it happens. Sometimes you accidentally set off a nuke and now you gotta go mining for stuff on the moon. It happens to the best of us. The weapons are women describes a huge number of animes, says Mia. Are we having magic, says Kryptonite. Maybe dance invokes some vibes of magic? Ooh, magic is performed via dance. I love it. Okay. Zenith says, world building stream? Don't mind if I yes. Welcome in. Let's see. A world with no concept or history of slavery. No egregious
violations of human rights in its history, because that is not a requirement to have a world with compelling lore. Please read the above line about 1,000 more times and internalize it. Thank you.
I wanna just emphasize this so much. You do not need to have slavery. You do not need to have racism. You do not need to have human rights violations. You do not need to have just unbridled hate. There are plenty of things that you can add strife and lore and just compelling history in your world without it having to be surrounded around like, this faction of people everybody hates them and they've been cast aside by society. Bold, highlight, italicize. Bold, italicize, highlight. There. Crimson says, I'm looking at you, D&D. Yeah, like, the problem with that is that Gary Gygax was not the most forward-thinking person ever, and like specifically wanted to have all that stuff in it. And like, I get it. I get why people who have a very strong sense of how fantasy is supposed to be would think that that's a requirement in order to make it a compelling world. I strongly disagree with the premise, and while I understand how they came to that conclusion, I do not agree with that conclusion. Rushable Cup says, a world where humanity was banished to Earth because it gave off an anti-magic field, preventing them from using magic at all. But now they're back and discovering that there was a region they were banished. Interesting. Interesting. So, like, Earth itself, or whatever is home, projects anti-magic. Mia says, please add magical girl style transformations for absolutely no reason and with no explanation. I'm assuming you mean like Sailor Moon and She-Ra? Yeah. Yeah. Sailor Moon / She-Ra transformations. Which would go pretty well, I think, with the magic is performed via dance. You know? That seems pretty good. Does Flynn get a magical girl transformation too? Of course! But he would just transform from being asleep to being awake. Crimson says, if I may be allowed, I would like to lore dump about Xenoblade Chronicles. You may. I am not going to read it on stream right now, because I'm actively doing other things. But I would recommend either lore dumping in Discord, so people can go back and read it whenever, or that's what I would recommend. Trying to keep chat on topic is all. Kaz says, burst through wall. Did somebody say world building? Wolf says, Adventure Time post Mushroom Wars era. I actually did not watch Adventure Time. That reference is lost on me, unfortunately. I'm going to cut it off here. We've got a lot of good ideas, and we've got a lot we can go from here to do things. So let's start with this. We've got Flynn as a world leader somehow, / let's say like animals can talk, or maybe it's maybe it's that. Well, I want to go back to Sylvie's original recommendation. Dev the Druid giving his life to stop an existential level threat, and his last breath is used to give Flynn a voice. I like the idea of the like psychic connection between people and their
and like a bonded pet, like a bonded animal that establishes a psychic connection that allows you to speak through them arbitrarily. Like essentially the functionality of Find Familiar, but with you can talk through them and perceive their perceptions at any time. So like a familiar, but not Fey, like literally just you bond to an animal. Like the dragons of Pern are telepathic. Yeah, exactly. I think, okay, let's do, yeah, okay. So, okay, okay, hear me out. So we've got Earth itself projects an anti-magic shield. We've got transformations, and we've got dragon riders, and animals can talk. Here's the thing. Every single creature in this world is a dragon that has been trapped in a different form and does not know that that is the case. But because of that, there is an inherent misunderstood magic that is emanating from everyone, and they don't know why. But sometimes something goes the right way and they're able to shapeshift into a new form, perhaps closer to their dragon form. We can figure that part out later. Let's start moving towards that direction. So here's what I'll do is make a new section. So we're going to keep all of our original nodes. We're going to make a new section with some of those ideas. So everyone and everything in this world is a dragon that has been trapped in a new form. Where did the dragons come from? Are they in the same plane, or are they banished to a new plane and cannot keep their dragon form in this new plane? So immediately we have questions, right? Like immediately we have why is everything a dragon? Where did they come from? What happens when they die? Do they go back to being a dragon in their other realm? Hydrate, I can do that. Robin says, like dragon reincarnation? Hell yeah, absolutely. Robin says, so everyone is actually a dragon. Do they have myths about dragons that they don't know are real? Interesting. Cryptid says, so is this I died and reincarnated as a slime, but with dragons? Other way around, I think. So there's okay, here's what I'm thinking. Robin says, everyone's actually a dragon. Do they have myths about dragons? Yes, I love that. Okay, so they're like society has myths about dragons, but doesn't know where they came from. Everyone has a faint concept of what a dragon is inherently. So like everyone would have faint, distant memories of the concept of a dragon, just from like, you know, general reincarnation bullshit. And because of that, like they can depict it. There's probably a lot of art about dragons, and maybe they've, oh my God. Okay. Because everyone can imagine dragons, lol, they think that is what gods are. But that's what they are. Oh, damn. Okay, so they all think about, they can all picture a dragon. They all inherently have this sense of what a dragon is, and they don't know why. And so the only conclusion they can reasonably come to is that this must be a deity. This must be God. This concept must be that we are all sharing is a god. That's the only thing that they can make sense of, right? King of Gay says dragon equals gods. Yeah. Interesting. Like literally, perhaps? Anka says, so it would be against gods to think that someone is a god. I don't know if I understand that. I don't know if I follow. Dev, scroll up. Scroll up where? Like scroll like that? Like do that? Is that what you mean? I'm not sure. Scroll up chat or scroll up what? Oh, Robin says, you might be a dragon or some other race, and who knows? See the thing I wrote? I'm just being annoying. You might be a dragon or some other race, and who knows? I think there's two planes. Two planes. There's the dragon space and the meat space, right? So this is where, right? So they like here, there be Durgans. And this is where everyone else is. But like, within the dragon space, right? Which we're gonna call the dragon, the dragon place and the meat space, okay? So here's the thing. In the dragon place, there's dragon place and lady place. Is everyone canonically a woman in this world, I guess? So in the dragon place, there's an infinite expanse of dragons, and perhaps their general life and movement is just like inherently godlike. You know, it worked for the Asari. It did. It really did. And they're hot. So maybe in the dragon place, dragons are just kind of everywhere, and they're just kind of chilling, right? And movements of the dragons influences everything else, like a butterfly effect, only instead of butterflies, it's dragons, because dragons. But in the meat space, it's all women, and they also, sometimes the women become more like a dragon, which is, that's pretty cool, right? And then like, name of dragon place, Draconia? Possible names. Draconia. Bit of a generic name, but it works. Names don't need to not be generic. It makes, like, here's a secret. When you name things with a bunch of apostrophes and syllables and apropos of nothing, nobody remembers anything. Like, nobody remembers. And like, if you try to come to you like bring a world, let's say if you're like running a tabletop campaign, you bring your custom world to the tabletop and you're like, welcome to Baruthia with we're gonna start off in the capital city of Kirkushvovia with their leader Magnesius Ragtwezius, and also they are beholden to the god of Korjosh. And your players are going to be like, what the hell are any of these things? They're going to not know how to spell anything. They're not going to know what is what. And they're going to just like come up with their own names to refer to everything as, and you're going to hate it because it's just going to like trivialize all this stuff that you put a bunch of effort into trying to make cool. Draconia makes perfect sense. Dragon place called Draconia. Easy. Drag space. Matthew Mercer subtweet. Look, I am absolutely at fault myself with doing stuff like that. I'm recovering. I'm working real hard on that. Okay, so there's dragons. We're just gonna go ahead and call it Draconia. Let's just keep moving forward. Draconia. Wolf says, dragons become empowered by how strongly their mythos is believed and accepted amongst society as having been real or is real. I like where your head's at with that. Let me take it in a slightly different direction, I think. What if
the realization of like oneness with dragons, where like it's essentially, again, people think that dragons are gods, and they're not totally wrong. And so there's sort of like a religious pilgrimage that can be taken. And the most like ascendant of people gain the ability to temporarily invoke parts of their inherent dragonhood. And that's what like the transformation stuff is. If you are able to like reach a certain level of prowess at navigating the like mental space of like the dragon stuff, you're able to probably perform some sort of ritual, that will be the dance, and transform one or a few parts of your body into some sort of like dragon aspect and get a superpower. So like wings to fly, claws to slash, tail to do tail things. And those who can completely have all parts at once ascend back into Draconia. And that is like a good death. It would remove you from the meat space, but you would go back to being a dragon and probably like retain your consciousness and whatnot. Ascend to a higher plane. Yeah, thank you, Robin. That's exactly what I'm talking about here. Okay, so what did I just say? I just said a lot of words. So, since everyone is a dragon secretly, you can attune to your inherent dragonness and perform a dance-like ritual to temporarily gain an aspect of your dragon. Getting really good at this means you can become a dragon fully, re-entering Draconia. I think that the idea is that a full, complete dragon cannot exist outside of Draconia. But mortals will be able to temporarily invoke parts of a dragon on their body, which is like actively, again, there's maybe some kind of magic.
Thank you for that.
Sky with 5 gifted subs. Congrats on the 39. Thank you so very, very much. And welcome in. I just saw you pop in. Yeah, like maybe the plane. I liked the thing that we talked about up here. The Earth itself has anti-magic field. Let's tweak that. So the meat space does not allow dragons to exist. It pushes back on that. So if you invoke a dragon part on your body, it is difficult to sustain. Only the most powerful can possibly stand a chance at becoming a full dragon. Hey, gang! What do we need? What do we call becoming a dragon and re-entering into Draconia? I was gonna say Ascension, but that seems too easy. Inky says, holy crap, auto dice roll? That animation was dope. Thank you, Inky. Thank you. I thought the animation was dope too. There's going to be a lot more with that in the future. But yeah, auto dice rolling is a thing now. And I think it's hopefully going to help me be a little bit less scattered constantly. Dragonification. Transcendence, says Wolves. Hopping, says Anka. Return. I like the space of return. Mia says, do they know what happens or just that people disappear when this happens? That's fascinating. Let's answer that. I would imagine it would look like the person becomes like whenever somebody probably like does the ritual and has their girl transformation sequence, I would imagine that they get all bright and shiny, and as the light fades away, they now have like their altered body. Maybe they get all bright and shiny and slowly take the shape that everybody imagines as a dragon when they're imagined dragons, you know, and then they just implode on themselves as they disappear out of the realm. And so that would probably be considered like an honor, right? To even view it. Like that would probably be like a ceremony, I would assume. Dracomorphosis. I can dig it. Let's talk about that for now. Dracomorphosis. Okay. So here is where I am now getting to the point where it's like, all right, we need to call it imagining dragons when they ascend. We are going to start breaking this out into an actual obsidian vault. So I told you that I brought up obsidian. It's we're going to go from scratch. I'm going to show you how this all works. So far, we've just been ideating, and that's great. And we're going to get back to that. We're going to keep doing like ideation. We're going to keep building stuff out. But obviously, I've just been typing notes into a document. Like this is not a world, really. So let's ideating dragons for copyright. That's inky. Let's start by breaking a few things out and using obsidian as obsidian is wont to be used. So it's a serious question. Dragons are shape changed to other things. How does this prevent issues with anti-magic fields banishing them regardless? I think it is... I think there is probably some... This is like where we would get into plot stuff. There's probably some error, some issue, either a sentient aggressor or something wrong with the fabric of reality that is pushing dragons out of Draconia into a plane that they can't exist in, and so they inherently are forced to take a new form. The form of a dragon cannot exist in the meat space, and so them not being a dragon anymore is just an inherent property of that plane, and them trying to become a dragon again would force them out of the plane. Yes, what Anka said. Maybe just naturally, that physically dragons cannot fully physiologically function in that other plane. Yep. I'm gonna desprout you, Anka, also. Robin says, is there advanced science/tech in this world? Like advanced meaning they have electricity. Unclear. We will have to answer that. Open questions. What kind of tech is in this world? Why can't dragons exist in the meat space? Why are dragons being pushed out of Draconia? So here we go. Let's go from this document to giving ourselves a few places to start actually breaking stuff out and making sense of things. Very, very first thing that you need to know about Obsidian, if you are not familiar with this software, this is just fancy note-taking software, and its kind of killer feature, in my opinion, is that you can link between notes very easily. So over here, we've got all of our files, and then here we've got our tabs with documents. So what I'm going to start by doing is split my view. So I've got two tabs up side by side, and then we're going to start making notes for each of these concepts and breaking stuff out into those notes. And this is the beauty of Obsidian. You get an idea, you throw it into a note, you push it away, and you come back to it later. So let's start with the obvious things that we know we're going to have. So we're going to have a Draconia doc, probably. So let's just copy that into here. All right. We're going to want a meat space one. TBD, this is the not Draconia space. And then now I can go to the Draconia tab, and I can say the parallel
plane to Draconia is meat space. And that is a link to the meat space document. So I can just click that and it takes me to meat space. So that's what I mean by you can like link between stuff. So we've got a couple of documents there now. Let's say girl transformations. Name TBD. When a creature in meat space temporarily invokes an aspect of dragons, grafting it to their body. If someone is able to fully transform into a, let's just make a dragon document, into a dragon, they leave the meats, they rejoin Draconia plane. All right, so now I have a link to dragon as a thing. Like I'm gonna want a document for dragons, but I just made a link to a thing that doesn't exist, so I can just click it and it makes that for me. So dragons only can exist in Draconia, and upon being pushed across planes into meat space, they are forced to take a new form and forget they were a dragon. Creatures in meat space are all former dragons and do not know that they are dragons. They all share a concept of what a dragon is and believe them to be gods. Zed, hello. What are we up to today? We are building worlds. All right, let me check out what I'm looking at here. Okay, call it upscale. Oh my god, you're talking about like transforming. So girl transformations can be called upscaling. Upscaling. I love it. It's so good. It's so good. Coffee Mom. The world's being the meat space and Draconia. Do we want a different name for meat space? So here's another thing that I love about Obsidian. I now have references to meat space in a bunch of places, right? I've got meat space there. I've got meat space. If I change the name here to like beat space, I can say, yes, update. And now all of those have been updated to beat space. So it keeps everything in sync for you. You don't need to worry about that, which is rad. I love meat space, says Kaz. Pre-Dragon Lane. I feel like meat space is more of a joke name. It is. It very much is. Rip to the meat space. Long live the beat space. What is a good term for like not having properties of a dragon? Like corporea, right? Like corporeal. Maybe dragons inherently are sort of like also like ethereal inherently, and so like Mortalis. Interesting. Basic. Mortalis. I do like Mortalis. Mortalis is legit badass. Yeah. Named by Sylvie. Who came up with Draconia? Identify yourself. I wanna give credit when people come up with names. Draconia. Who said it originally? Crimson said it originally. Named by Crimson. Okay. Who came up with upscaling? Wait a minute. Bubbles. Named by Bubbles. Okay. I do think Mortalis is an amazing name. Perfect. Great, great, great. Okay. So we've got 2 planes now, right? So let's go ahead and put them together in a folder. So we'll make a planes folder, and we're just going to drag Draconia into there and Mortalis into there, just to clean things up a little bit. We're going to make another folder that's just Scratch, and that is just going to be our Scratch notes and whatnot. We're going to delete that. Shut up. And then, okay, so now we've got our planes, our Scratch work, and then we've got dragons and upscaling. So let's just go ahead and make a concepts section and just move those there for now. If we get a better way to like split things out, then great. Cotton says, your obsidian theme feels weird to look at since I keep my obsidian very dark, very default and dark mode. I really love this theme. In fact, let me do a thing, which is to open this, go here, do that. All right, do that. Okay, so I love this theme. This theme is called Border, I believe. Appearance. Border. Yeah. So the theme is called Border. I'm actually going to go turn on plugins, and we're going to add in the style settings plugin to Obsidian. Enable that. Open it. Import. Paste my config. Hit save, and boom! It's so pretty. I love this theme so much. It's so pretty. So Obsidian's very, very good software, y'all. Obsidian is very nice. Sylvie says, I fucking hate how bad I already love this application just watching this. It's very good. Holy shit, what kind of magic? Yeah, so what I just did to like... Oh, Geek says, should it matter if Critical Role has a Draconia? I'm a firm believer in, if you like it, take it, with attribution, of course. I had no idea. Thank you, Geek. Let's rename. I'm sorry, Crimson. Invite Crimson, originally Draconia, but turns out that's already in Critical Role, so, you know. But that's okay. Things change names. It happens. Dragonia. Let's just do that for now. Let's just do that for now. Thank you very much for saving me from copyright infringement. Where was I? Okay, real quick. I'm gonna get to Coffee Mom. You had a message. I'll get to that in just a second. But I want to explain what I just did to make my Obsidian look different. So Obsidian is, again, just note-taking software, but it's got a whole style library. So you can browse different themes, and you literally just choose a theme that you like. The theme that I'm using is called Border. And this is what it looks like, you know, by default. This is the light. They're not really showing. Okay, yeah, here's like dark. But then you can get all these different bonus themes for it that have like translucency and glow, or this like really nice fade. It's very pretty. So I got this theme, and then I went to the community plugins, which if you think about, you can think about community plugins for Obsidian like browser extensions. They're just extensions. I installed an extension called Style Settings that allows me to import or to tweak all of my style settings as much as I want. There's a whole bunch of just like toggles and options here. Then you can also import and export entire configurations. So you don't need to know what this means, but this configuration makes it look like this. So I just imported that config, and neat. Now everything's pretty. So let's do... Robin says, if Obsidian doesn't offer you money after this stream, they should. Can you share your config? Absolutely. And I will also share the entire Obsidian vault when I'm done. The Obsidian vault will include everything already pre-configured. So you'll be able to explore it at your own pace, which is great. And y'all haven't even seen the like recent new killer feature of Obsidian. Here, let's go ahead and do that, which is canvases.
which is an infinite 2D space to lay stuff out and connect things and visualize stuff. So let's just say like the realm or the planes of our world, right? So we've got 2 planes. We've got Dragonia. Just drag that onto the canvas. Maybe zoom out, move that over here. And Mortalis, right? So these 2 are the 2 planes that we have. And just go ahead and connect those. Let's make this be a bi-directional arrow. And then I can also like add in media. So let's go find like a picture of Dargan. I see Kai the Curse says, do you guys have a Discord? Hello and yes and here. So, okay, what's a picture of a dragon? Let me just grab one real quick. This is a dragon. That looks like a dragon. Copy. And then I can just paste that onto my canvas. We got ourselves a Dargan. That's really good. So canvas is very cool. You can just sort of do shit with it. You can group stuff together. So I can like make this into a group. Call it planes. Do all that kind of stuff. So like there's all sorts of things you can do with canvas. Like it is really, really, really nice. Hard to drag things around super accurately though. I actually found it to be pretty easy. It's just a grid, right? So like, and it has snaps, like it has auto snapping. Like it's pretty good, I think. But yeah, canvas is super, super, super nice. And you can also edit, like these are editable stuff. Like this is just the document. So I can be like, and I'm typing in this in the canvas, but then if I open up Mortalis, the note is synced. So, oh yeah, also you can jump to anything immediately. So Dragonia or upscaling. So I love Obsidian. Okay, Coffee Mom says, does everyone have the ability to live long enough to become a dragon, or is it possible to die naturally and not become a dragon? I've been doing chores, so I don't know if this part was already decided. I actually think that is a great example of adding strife to the world without having it be shitty human rights crap. So let's say death and ascendance as a new document. So in Mortalis, there are 2 ways your life may end. Death. If you just kind of die, like anyone normally would, you die. And you're just dead forever. No soul anymore. Nice try. Sucks to suck. But you can ascend. If you are able to become one with the dragon spirit attached to your mortal form, you can ascend and return to Dragonia, maintaining your spirit and life. So I think that could be good. Like, I like the idea that this again kind of adds for having an antagonist. Let's say that there are a lot of dragons in Dragonia, but it are non-infinite, right? And whatever is the being or entity that is forcing dragons from Dragonia into Mortalis is trying to thin the herd, so to speak. Now, the mortals in Mortalis have no idea any of this is going on, and they believe that ascending back into Dragonia, which they don't even know exists, like the ascension ritual, which ends in the person no longer being in this plane and being back in Dragonia, is the goal. But all that's going to do is send you back to Dragonia, where you're going to meet the actual strife that's going on, that's forcing the dragons back into Mortalis. And so the goal is, since dragons are immortal, force them into Mortalis and let them die there. And that is how this entity, whoever it may be, whatever it may be, is trying to clear out the dragons from Dragonia. Swordplay and Sorcery, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome, welcome. Okay, catching up on stuff because I've been talking a lot and writing a lot and haven't really read too much of chat as much as I would like to. So let's see. Inky says, just had a random thought. Another word for kind of dragons is wyvern. Wyvern, wives, magical girl transformation, makes sense. Wives. I like wives. I don't like the implication of calling all women wives. But I also don't hate it because they're dragons. And also, I feel like we've only softly established that everyone's a woman. But we can hard establish that. Everyone is a woman. I said so. All right, cool. Crimson says, Dev, have you ever heard of the world building resource services known as Campfire and World Anvil? I've seen sponsorships on YouTube for them, and they're rather fascinating. I am aware. I have tried them both, and I don't love them. That is not a dig. That is my personal software needs are very different from the average person. And Obsidian scratches way more of the itches that I need scratched than most software. Sort of period. I guess tavern vibes since we're doing world building. Let's do tavern vibes. Long story short, I find them a little restrictive and slow. Obsidian is absurdly fast and is non-opinionated. Numac says, what keyboard do you use? I use a like ergonomic mechanical keyboard thingy. I can share the link. I had to switch to an ergonomic keyboard because I was starting to get carpal tunnel and that was painful. Robin says, it's weird how many larger corporations and bodies of government could really use software like this, but they don't, and just because they don't know it exists. And it's free. Obsidian, I want to be clear, this app is free. Let me pull up the website. And I'll send it to chat. So, browser? Here is the Obsidian website. It's literally free. There's add-on services that are a subscription, and they are not required in the slightest. Those services are sync and publish, so you can use the built-in syncing service from Obsidian for $4 a month, or you can just sync via Dropbox or Google Drive or whatever, because all of your files in Obsidian are just plain text files on your computer. They're not in the cloud, they're not hidden from you, they're not in some proprietary format. If Obsidian ever disappeared, you still have access to all of your files. It's just text files. It's just that Obsidian wrangles them and makes them even more pleasant to work with. So, very cool. Okay. So everyone's a woman. I said so. That's really good. Let's get back to catching up on chat. Ascend dance. Oh, God. Robin says, did we decide on tech? Because I love Legend of Korra's 20s vibe, and I'd love to know how magic and tech start to interact when electricity is first becoming a major thing. So I think it's fascinating. I think let's make a document for that technology. Is there electricity? I like the idea that, like, since magic is confusing and not well understood, perhaps people have people have conflated magic and physics / natural phenomena. So maybe like magic and its confusing air about it is what drives technological innovation. People trying to understand magic has, similar to like the army trying to make things for war, but then ultimately they're like, oh, we accidentally invented preservatives. You know, like, we're trying to figure out magic, but oh, we accidentally invented light bulbs. Crimson asked again about the World Anvil stuff. Yep. Anka says reincarnation would be great to have as more pressure on the account of souls. Reincarnation would be great to have as more pressure on the account of souls. Don't know if I follow that part. I think reincarnation would make sense from a... I think reincarnation here would be you ascend to become a dragon and then are pushed back into Mortalis. Like, that would probably be the closest to reincarnation here so far. Kai says, I have a question about world building that's a bit specific. I don't know if you have an answer, but I have a character who entered a deal with a god, the spirit of the phoenix. But he finds a loophole and takes the spirit for himself and merge. Merges with it, and I don't know how to not make him OP. How to not make a person who has merged with the spirits of a god OP. I've made a character that was possessed by a god of like hatred and war, but because it was locked within a mortal body, its power was inherently limited to the capabilities of that mortal body, but it was still living within her, and it could take control of her, and she had to actively push back against it. I would add a negative effect, like a mortal merging with a god is probably not going to be super comfortable for said mortal. So come up with some way that having that phoenix inside of them ruins them. Like, maybe they're Karlach and they're constantly burning, or like their blood is boiling and slowly killing them, and they have to constantly seek healing because of it. But yeah, there's that. Cotton says, why is everyone a woman? I don't understand the question. I don't understand the basic premise here. Robin says, I don't know about everyone as a woman because I wouldn't want anyone to make anyone feel like their PC had to be a woman. I mean, you can make a big burly dude, it's just that it's going to be a woman. That's fine. We do not need that rule. I agree, and I don't like restrictive rules like that. Robin says, I don't know, that last playlist was itching my brain well. That was the last track of the playlist, though. We ran out of brain itch, so I'm very, very sorry. Are they all women in both, or just Dragonia, or just Mortalis? So okay. Crimson says, if everyone is a woman, how will reproduction work? I think, it makes sense that like reproduction doesn't need to be a thing, right? Dragons are being forced from one plane to the other and taking a form. So there's probably a different concept of how being born works. Like, things just kind of like appear. We'll have to workshop that. Kaz says, I'm 4 channel points away from ending the piss vibes. Salmon is back. Hello. Robin says, I would like to see how they combine magic and science, because you would do that in a world that has both. Absolutely. Let's see. Since they're dragons, maybe they don't have any gender or sex, just make everyone Envy. Envy would be a great base. How about everyone is gender? Yes, but there's only one genderless pronoun. Hello, Pfeffers. What's up? Pfeffers, we are world building. And you shouldn't be a sprout. Let me fix that. But it says, isn't there fish/reptiles that can change their gender, or am I tripping? I think that we get rid of the everyone's a woman thing, and that was just a good gag. I would say that I think reproduction, I don't think is super required. I'm really open to reproduction being normal, but like the spirits that the spirits that are brought into the plane are whatever spirits are being pushed out of Dragonia, or everyone in this world is sort of like a celestial being and they just sort of materialize. I kind of like option B a little better. We don't need to have fucking, you know? I kind of like they just appear. That's how it works in Palea. Pfeffer says, what have I come into? All right, let's catch everybody up on the world that we have so far, since we've done a little bit of stuff. We are building a world where there are two planes, Dragonia and Mortalis. Dragonia is filled with a just massive amount of spiritual, ethereal dragons. And they're just vibing. They're just existing and being Dargans. And by just existing and doing their thing, they are butterfly affecting the rest of the universe. And so in that sense, they are effectively gods. Something is pushing dragons out of Dragonia and into another plane called Mortalis. And in Mortalis, dragons cannot exist. And so when these dragon spirits are pushed across the plane, they are coalesced into a different form of some kind of mortal and have no recollection of being a dragon, except for a faint concept of what dragons are. And so everyone in Mortalis is living their lives not knowing that they are dragons, but everyone has a sense of what a dragon is. And so they think that that's what gods are. And so the most faithful and I guess pious to some degree of the people in Mortalis can ascend and return to their dragon form, in which case they are pulled out of Mortalis and back to Dragonia. And so there's the big open questions are, actually, let me make an open questions doc. Splits, open questions. And we had one from in here. Let me just copy those over. Okay. What is the... Yeah, okay, we already had that. Why are dragons being pushed out of Draconia? So the open questions are... Okay, we know why dragons can't exist in Mortalis. The answer is just they can't. Theft says, what if the most pious return to dragons, but the most zealous don't get their minds back? When you say the most zealous don't get their minds back, what do you mean by that? So the idea, yeah, like when they come back into their dragon form and head back to Dragonia, they will remember everything. And so that's sort of a new game plus situation. We're making Dragon Heaven and Dragon Hell. Hey, that's a really good way of putting it. Hell yeah. Can't have faith without doubt. It's just belief, which can lead to zealotry. Interesting. So you're saying if someone is zealous and not pious, they have a sort of like a botched return to form. I really like that. I really like that. Let me add that to the dragon concept. If a mortal is zealous instead of pious, is not truly faithful in dragons, they have a botched return to form and perhaps end up in a third plane? Maybe they end up in a third plane? Look who's out here re-upping their... Where it's just a bunch of confused dragons? Burp with a Glock, 8 months. Thank you so very much. coming up on a year. Why does the bird have a Glock? Kai, you got it. You can't be asking questions like that, all right? Can't be asking questions about why we equip birds here. Pfeffer says mindless drakes. Ooh, mindless drakes. Like Zambi dragons? And ooh, wait a minute. Okay, hold on. I just did a lot of things. Hold on. Okay. Okay. When a dragon, when a mortal has a botched return to form, or whatever we're calling it, a botched upscaling, they go to a third plane where they are a like zombie wyvern, and perhaps whatever evil entity is forcing the dragons out of Dragonia to begin with then leverages those wyverns and is building an army. Digging it. So, yeah, okay. If we don't call this Super Hell, okay, yeah, let's make us a Super Hell. Name to be changed. Lol. Actually, I'm gonna do another Obsidian feature, which is you can just do tags anywhere. So I can just do hash needs name, and so now that's a tag, and so I can just leave tags for. I can now search anything that has that tag in it, and so on and so forth. So I have a needs name tag. This is Super Hell. This is where where mortals go when they have a botched, I'm just gonna say return to form until we can figure out a better name for that. We'll say needs name. This is when a mortal turns back into a dragon. If they were pious, they return to Dragonia as a dragon and maintain their memory. If they were zealous, they are banished to Super Hell. Super Hell as a mindless zombie-like wyvern. Excellent. Kai says, by the way, all you guys are amazing. I love meeting more creative people because I find it hard to come up with things sometimes without help. Well, welcome to World Building Wednesdays. This is the first of, hopefully, very many of doing this, working together to come up with worlds and settings and concepts. As a reminder, at the end of the night, once, like, either we will continue to build on this world next week, some kind of, or I'll just release the Obsidian Vault for everybody to be able to play with and take and run with. And also, I have some other stuff cooking, and these settings could be potentially useful for stuff that's currently cooking. So we'll see. Okay, Kai the Curse says, all the way back, I apologize, I missed this. Also, the setting for my fantasy book is New York City in the 80s, and I'm not sure how to... The setting for my fantasy book is New York City in the 80s, and I'm not sure how to merge those two. You don't know how to merge New York and 80s? Or you don't know how to merge fantasy and 80s New York? Confused. Build the same world, we can't just leave her now. Okay, well we can make it a point to yo, congratulations on making the fucking trans flag in chat. Well done. Well done, y'all. You made a pride flag, made a trans pride flag in chat. Yeah, we'll dig into this world some more for at least a few sessions and see where it goes. Burr the Glock says, what is this notes app? This is Obsidian. This is my beloved This is my favorite. It is obsidian. So I'm going to move open questions over there, make that a little smaller. In fact, I'm also going to split down and just have my primary notes here. So yeah, you can multiplex obsidian everywhere and make whatever kind of setup you want. And what's really nice is there's a built-in plugin called Workspaces. Just go ahead and turn that on. And you can save workspaces. So I can save this layout like Worldbuilding. I can have a layout called Worldbuilding, right? And I can now clear everything out. And now I'm just like at my blank obsidian vault. And I can be like, I want my stuff back. Load. And now we're back. It loads your layout, all your open tabs, all your everything. So if you have sort of like a thing that you're working on, that you're building, and you like your current setup, you can save it as a workspace and get back to it whenever you want. Cotton says, I didn't know you could go vertical like that. It's amazing. It's amazing. Okay, catching up on chat. Super Hell. Robin says it's going to be a permanent name. It's going to grow on you. Probably. We'll see. Would Dragonborns even be a thing in this world? How would they work? I don't think so. I'm not planning this to be a 5e setting necessarily. That said, like, it very well could be. And a Dragonborn could be that Dragonborns are considered exalted in this world because they represent what everybody thinks God is, you know? Kaz says, I'm very excited for this series. I'm glad. I'm glad that it's going well. Okay, so Kai says, having trouble merging fantasy and 80s New York City. I would recommend digging into the Fables franchise in that case, which is almost explicitly that. The Fables comic series. Fables comics. There's a game also called The Wolf Among Us that is that. But Fables is a comic series about fairy tale creatures living in New York City because they were all kicked out of like the fairy tale land, and they now have like an underground society in New York City. And the big bad wolf is one, a dude, and two, a like noir style PI. It's such a good series. It's very, very, very good. What's the hotkey for the file finder? I can't find it. By default, it is Command or Control O to open file, and that's the fuzzy find. So yeah, Control O for jump to a note, and Control P for run a command. Just Jazz says, how do I connect my folders? Some notes won't give me the option to move it to some folders. How do I connect my folders? Some notes won't give me the option to move it to some folders. You should be able to just drag them. So like we've got return to form here. I can drag this to concepts, and that should just work. But you can also do Command P to pull up the command menu, and then type move folder to do move current file to another folder and hit enter. That'll bring up all of your folders, and you can just choose what folder you want to send this current file to. So that's another option. Bird of the Glock says, the place where mortals go when they turn into dragons is called Dragonia. No, the other way around. Dragonia is where the dragons are. Mortalis is where the mortals go. Cotton says, what if Dragonborn is the botched instead of Super Hell? Interesting. I'm going to take that in a slightly different direction. We're taking a slightly different direction. What if instead of Super Hell, if you botched your return to form, you become a zombie wyvern in Mortalis? And what if that's never happened before? And so anybody who would be running a scenario in this world would have the opportunity to have a big bad be the first failed return to form and become a wyvern. I love the idea that Dragonborn are botched upscaling. I like that a lot too. The only reason that I don't want to go for that exactly, and I'm perfectly fine going with that exactly, is I don't want to canonicalize a specific species from a specific franchise in this. Forever the Glock says, wait, isn't Obsidian that note app with a big web node of nodes and stuff? Yeah, so you can also view your vault as a graph. So here is all of our stuff and all the links between them so far. So we've got Return to Form is linking to Super Hell and Dragonia. We've got Dragons linking to Mortalis, Dragonia, and upscaling. Yeah, so as you build out your vault, you can visualize how everything is connected, which is sick. What if you fight a dude and kill him and he comes back zealous and more powerful as the zombie guy? Just like in general? Kai says, oh, I gotta catch up on a lot of cool fantasy shit. Don't worry about cursing. Cursing is perfectly fine. Maybe blessed people are born with one of their dragon features. I want to be clear. I love Dragonborn being a botched return to form. What I want to avoid, the reason that I'm a little hesitant there, what makes you think that Dragonborn's locked to D&D? Dragonborn as the concept as they exist in D&D is what I kind of want to avoid, but the main thing I want to avoid is if a botched return to form results in a Dragonborn, that would mean that we are creating a species that is looked down upon. That we're creating a species that is undesirable, which is one of the things we did on the outset we wanted to not have necessarily. I'm open to suggestions, but I have a hard time reconciling a negative outcome for a thing results in you becoming a certain species, but it's okay that species is still liked, because then people would just botch returns to form to become Dragonborn, as opposed to it being like a punishment or horrible outcome. Which I guess it doesn't need to be. It's our world. We can do whatever we want. Sky, thank you for gifting a sub. What if they're revered, like chosen to walk in both worlds? Robin says, what if Dragonborns are a new thing in this world and it means the spell on the world is weakening? Mia says, but do people know that it's botched? Maybe they just assume people are lucky and get Dragonborn. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. I love it. Okay. Oh, that's so good. That creates a faction. We got our first faction. Okay. Ready? A while ago, the first zealous person attempted to return to form and become a dragon and failed and became a Dragonborn and thought that they discovered a new level of ascension. And that formed a cult. It was a misinterpreted good thing. And so now there is reason to believe that all those people who are ascending and disappearing are not the correct ones. And the ones who are actually powerful are the ones who are following this fucked up version of the religion and botching their return to form. So they have a strong contingent and argument to say, look at this form that I am now. I am resplendent. And this, my version of this is how things are supposed to be. Crimson says, what can I say? I like me giving characters trauma. One of my favorite people, no, failing upward, exactly. It's a huge metaphor for tech bros. This whole time, they thought that they discovered the solution to reality, which they discovered what they thought wasn't good, which is meritocracy. And they were like, oh, wait, everyone, this is how things are supposed to be. And then there's a bunch of people who are like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I can tell because it's easy to internalize into my pea-sized brain. And everyone else is like, hey, maybe there's more to life than that. And that's the metaphor. Put on your thinking caps, fellas. There was another thing I wanted to say. Oh, yes. Trauma. So let's talk about trauma. One of my favorite people on this planet, Gina, who is was on one of the episodes of the Atlas Loom and is an incredible role player. She is also a licensed therapist, and she also is in this chat not infrequently. She's also a licensed therapist, which means that she is specifically good at designing characters with horrible trauma. And that is like her goal when designing characters, is like they're a small bean and they're wonderful and lovely and have the most horrific trauma you can possibly imagine in excruciating detail with like very specific information on how it has affected them in every way imaginable. Horrifying. Kai says, also I have a magic detective in my book named Damien Poe, an Edgar Allan Poe reference. Hell yeah. Kaz says, if Brennan's metaphor is always an allegory for capitalism, is Dev's an allegory for tech bros? Same thing, different name. Honestly. Horrifying but detailed, indeed. Burb the Glock says, I should make a character that is the most edgelord I possibly could make them and give them an incredibly happy backstory. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick break from the obsidian, because I've got a very specific thing on that, which is not going to be used, so oh well. When I was working on Theater Arcane, which for those who are not aware, Theater Arcane was and will again be a tabletop project that I'm working on. I was originally working on it as a long-form actual play podcast with a core group of 4 folks who'd be playing characters for like a long adventure campaign, whatever, blah, blah, blah. You've heard that before. One of the concepts for the character, or one of the concepts for one of the characters, was going to be that, like, I was working with the 4 players. We were like designing their characters. 3 of them had really intense, horrific backgrounds. One was like an acolyte stolen away and raised in like a death cult. Another, her father was an arms dealer for a religion. And another had his own, like, was horrifically mugged, accidentally got involved with horrible people, lost all of his friends, and is now on like a revenge mission. Bunch of fucked up people, of course. And then the 4th one was just gonna be this fucking goober who all he wanted was to be a hero, like visibly just wanted to be a hero and just tried to look like a hero because he thought that that's how he could become a hero, is just like look like one. And also had the most normal background imaginable. He just has a supportive family, a loving home, friends who care about him. Nothing is wrong in his past. But he believed that in order to be a hero, you had to have a horrific, dark history. And so he would like tell people that, like, his history, his home life is so horrible he can't even talk about it. And then we were going to have a gag where eventually you meet his family and they're just the sweetest bunch. And it just makes no sense that this man who keeps talking about his horrible, horrible past had a really nice family and a really lovely upbringing. So that would have been fun, but He's just trying to fit in. Crimson says, I can see these Dragonborn rewriting history about this reality works, and any main cast in this world can uncover the true reality, defeat the Dragonborn, defeat the person and people behind the dragons being sent to Mortalis. Yes, yes, this is why I love world building. I love it. I'm gonna just paste exactly what Crimson just wrote, just like sort of like hype. I'm just gonna do that because I agree exactly. We're building a world. We're kind of approaching it from a like we're building a world to serve a story perspective, which is fair and fine. But it's also like how I tend to do a lot of my world building is like I have sort of pieces of a story and they kind of like weave together, and then that begins to build up the world. Notice that we haven't touched. We're gonna get to technology at some point. We haven't touched locations. We haven't touched topography. We haven't touched a map. We are explicitly in concept mode right now. We are starting so zoomed out, and that's fine. Numac says, just wondering, where will we be able to find your style settings? I will share the whole vault in my Discord at some point, probably tomorrow. And as for my style settings, I can go ahead and do that right now. So I'll just go ahead and paste that into Discord now. So I use the border theme. So Obsidian style settings, theme border, and then I use plugin is style settings, and config is this. Okay, I just posted it in my Discord in the dev streams channel. I will pin that. Cool. If you want my style settings for how my Obsidian looks right here, you can head to my Discord, and that is available there right now. Okay. Burber the Glock says, what if in this world there was like an equivalent to those like religion ads where people would try to sell enlightenment, or if you had done something that was viewed as detrimental for the low price of 15 gold, all your problems could disappear. I think that that's exactly what the like cult-like side of things is going to be. We've essentially made an allegory for I'll finish that sentence. We've made an allegory for the evangelical church, basically, and that's what we're working with here. Salmon says, I have a thought about the Dragonborn. What if the result of there being Dragonborns causes the two realms to merge or clash together due to the Dragonborn's existence? I love that. I love it. Okay, I think, how about this? Well, let's come up with a name for it, like Dragonborn, right? And so if you, okay, the result of a botched return to form, but believed to be the ultimate mortal form by the bad religion, name TBD. The increasing prevalence of Dragonborn in Mortalis is slowly causing a breakdown of the magic that separates dragons, Dragonia, and Mortalis. So they are inadvertently breaking down the barrier between Mortalis and Dragonia by increasing the population of Dragonborns by like through this like ritual of fucking up a return to form. And the increased presence of Dragonborn in Mortalis like messes with the law, like the physics law that dragons can't exist there. And that's causing like reality to unravel.
resulting in draconic phenomena, which is weird, inexplicable magic shit that happens sometimes. Thumbs up. So there's draconic phenomena, which are just like things that are not able to be explained. A mountain has disappeared because reality is unraveling. Move that to concepts, scratch. Let's make an assets folder. I usually like to do utility, and then within the utility folder, I'll make a assets, and I'll move all my images there. Let's go ahead and set up Obsidian to automatically put new asset files. Where is that? Editor. Excuse me? Oh, okay, wait. New location for notes there. New location for attachments is in the folder specified below. Utility assets. Okay. So now any images that we add here will go into that folder. Open questions goes to scratch. Technology goes to... I guess we need a new... Let's just say, like, world information. Okay. Now everything's nice and organized. We love organization. Oh, we're on the last track of this now. I'm gonna switch over to synthwave after this. Let's see. What's that line in your style that creates... What's the line that your style creates in front of the headings? Oh, yeah. Heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4. It's just color coding the headings, and you can change all the colors in the style settings thing, and when you hover over, it tells you what level of a heading it is. So you can see very faintly, it says H1, H2, H3, H4. Just a thing to help color code. Kai says, what era is Mortalis in? Is it in the Gilded Age or... All right, yeah, that's a good question. Let's go to technology and, like, the state of the world. What kind of vibe do we want? Because I think we should probably answer the question of, like, where... Like, what Kai just asked and what Robin was asking about the state of technology in this world, which would then help us determine, like, what sort of shape of a world we're looking at here. So... I'm just gonna make an executive decision. There is tech in the like 20s, 30s space. Steampunk era, yeah, somewhere I think just beyond steampunk. Like cars exist in their earliest form, and like trains and shit. Like Korra, yeah. I like the Korra setting as a good framework for that. We can start there. Synthwave. Steampunkish, 20s-ish, Korra-ish vibes. Like a car going 20 miles per hour is outrageously fast. I think I do like Mortalis can be in a like Gilded Age of innovation at the intersection of magic and tech. But I think magic is more readily available to study due to the goings-ons of the bad religion creating more Dragonborn, which is causing draconic phenomena. So the bad religion making more Dragonborn is unraveling reality causing magic to become more prevalent and more easily accessible, which has sparked a leap forward in technology in this world. The band Bad Religion? Yeah. Fef says, would medicinal science be further back because magic? Fascinating. Yeah. I think so. Right? Like, I think if there's magic and if there's healing magic, we wouldn't have been doing... The other direction that can go would be people who are sort of tied to the old ways of healing magic versus using technology, like medical technology. I would bet healing magic is, one, rare, and two, kind of volatile and maybe not perfect. Maybe it doesn't heal you perfectly every time because of just the way that magic is sort of suppressed. And so we're making advances in medical technology, but there's probably some holdouts. People probably don't trust that because for the entirety of reality, we've been healing ourselves with magic. So maybe as medical science advances, people are torn between sticking with magical healing, which can be messy, or accepting medical science. The Bad Religion is spreading all over now because of radios. Actually, yeah. So the Bad Religion, name needs name. Kai says, I love the concept of magitech, but I don't think I want it in my world because I think magic would interfere with tech. I don't know if that's a good idea. It's hard. You gotta pick what you want what do you want magic in your world to mean and like how you want it to actually function. Crimson says, world building as a collective group is actually so much fun. I'm glad. Are you guys having fun? Is this enjoyable? I have no idea. I had a very vague plan for like what to be doing, and I'm having a good time. I hope that y'all are having a good time, and I'm super looking forward to seeing what we're able to do with some of the worlds that we end up building. Fun and helpful? Excellent. Great. If this is regular, I'm all for it. That's the goal. And personally, I also think the stream is better IMO to come in and out than just the chatting ones. Cool. So the Bad Religion needs a name, but also they believe Dragonborn are a good thing. They are wrong, but also good is relative. So and then how are they okay, do we think that the Bad Religion should be working from the shadows or big enough that they're relatively commonplace? I always find that working from the shadows is like a fun, mysterious whatever, but if they're so well established that it's just the norm and it goes beyond cult and into like it's just a fact of reality, that makes it a much more imposing threat. Imagine being told that you yourself need to take down the Christian church, right? Would there be classism from the Dragonborn upon regular mortals? I don't want that. I don't want classism. I do think that like they would see people as not realizing the power that they could have, even if the Dragonborns would be wrong about that. Hello. Hello, Cap Lucas B. What's up? Welcome in. Kat says they used to be in the shadows and now they're spreading all over, which is why the veil between planes is having an issue because so many are being recruited. Crimson says, I think the latter, but they can work more. There are more immoral behaviors behind the curtain. Of course. Of course. Salmon says, I feel as they're known, but most people don't want to be affiliated with them. Okay, so I like where we're at here. So operating above board, but like still pushed out in some places. Some people, or maybe like they also do a bit more scheming in the shadows. If the bad religion believed magic and science, if the bad religion believed magic and science should not mix, is that racism? I don't think so. I do think that I like that concept, though, of the religion probably shuns technology because they believe that it's a bastardization of the magic that they are trying to take for themselves by becoming Dragonborn. So, shuns technology because they believe you should wield magic more powerfully by becoming Dragonborn. Mia says, so two competing religions, the Ascend Properly religion and the Dragonborn religion. Yes. So let's do... the good religion. Needs name. This is the group that properly returns to form. As opposed to the bad religion. Okay. So the question is the good religion still dominant? Or is the bad religion taking over entirely? I guess, like, that's more of a storyline question rather than a world question. Because there would definitely be a time where the good religion is the only thing, really, and the bad religion is tiny and growing. And you could definitely run a setting where the bad religion has almost entirely taken over. Or they're just starting. Kaz says, I would say 50-50 at time of story. I think that makes sense. They should be, like, directly opposed to each other. So let's make a factions category. The good religion and the bad religion. The biggest religion could be claiming smaller religions or cults. How about they are equal and struggling to win? Yeah, I think... I also want to, like... I don't know if they're necessarily religions, right? Like, they're kind of religions. But they're more a concept on... like, how to live. Which I guess is what a religion is. I guess I just described religion. Belief systems. Kai says, Dev, would hearing aids be considered tech that would interfere with magic? Because one of the witch characters has to use them in my book. I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, also, it's your world, so you can decide for yourself if that is the case or not. I would say it would be cool to think that there's a hearing aid, that hearing aids can like pick up magic frequencies, and that gives them like some sort of interesting insight. Kaz says Dev invented religion 4/24/2024. Theft says, I don't know why I'm fixating on radios, but there could be constant debates against the two in the background setting via radio. I do like that. I mean, if we're in the 20s and technology is starting to appear, I absolutely love the idea of a magic-powered radio. Or maybe they just think that radio waves are magic. Let's just go ahead and, yeah, let's do radio. The use of radio in this world is prevalent, most notably by the bad religion and the good religion in their ongoing struggle to curry favor. A two-party system where parties debate each other under public scrutiny? Can you imagine? Can you imagine? You can hear ghosts in the hearing aid. Oh my god. Again, jumping back to Blades in the Dark, one of my favorite things about Blades in the Dark is the inherent, like, ghost shit that's going on. It's just, they're like, oh yeah, also there's ghosts everywhere. That's just a thing. And, like, you can just sort of tap into the ghost field and do ghost things at will. And I love the idea of, like, a hearing aid that lets you just, like, ambiently hear ghost chatter as you're walking around. Like, that's so good. Bev says, like, you've got two prominent names representing the two religions, and everyone kind of knows who they are because they debate all day on radio between the two religions. But come to find out, they're shams and lovers just trying to keep their numbers up. Crimson says, I think we should address this now before going further. What is magic in this world? What's its background? What is it capable of? I would think, and open to input. I'm just gonna write this out, and y'all tell me how you feel and if we should change this. So, magic is fueled by the ambient movement of dragons in Dragonia. I should say magic in Mortalis is fueled by the ambient movement of dragons in Dragonia. Their mere existence produces magic, which emanates like waves, sometimes crossing the boundaries, the planar boundaries, into Mortalis. As the bounds between the planes continues to erode from the growth of the bad religion, these waves are becoming more prevalent, increasing the power of magic in Mortalis. Thoughts? Do we like? The worst punishment for somebody in a fantasy setting would be getting covered in bacon grease and then having Speak with Animals cast on them and locked in a room with 100 dogs. Oh no! Robin says, I think the bad religion could believe that too much tech and magic used together would cause the apocalypse or something, but it really would help the world. I like the idea that the bad religion is just convinced that they are doing the right thing and that the other religion must be doing the wrong. Both religions assume the other religion's doing the wrong thing because of the, like, breakdown of reality. But the bad religion probably thinks, like, we are so powerful, we are the ones causing magic to get stronger, not realizing that if they continue at this rate, the magic will probably become too volatile and destructive and dangerous. The bad religion is doing the wrong thing, fully heads up their asses, not realizing they're bad, says Kaz. Exactly. Theft says, also the magic could be seen as if someone was randomly sending waves over. There could be a personification kind of constructed in the There could be... Oh, could there be a personification constructed on the Mortalis side and a cult develops? So you're saying, like, people could explain the waves of magic as if it was a singular entity causing it and not an entire plane of dragons. Salmon says, I like the idea that there's a power struggle between the religions. More followers means more leverage on the magic. I like the idea that there's a power struggle between the religions, and it's not just there's more followers of a given religion, so their god is more powerful. It is instead the actions being taken by the people in these religions are actively fucking with the intensity of magic in this world. So, like, in a way, like, their religion is false, right? There's not a god that they are praying to that's getting more powerful. They just believe that there is, and they believe that they've discovered the truth of, like, the ultimate form. But as more and more people do that, they're interpreting the increased instability of magic as positive feedback from their god. That doesn't exist. Crimson says, an interesting idea about magic, but what is it capable of? Can you cast spells like we talked about with healing? Can you cast stuff like pyromancy or hydromancy? All of that we can get into in time. I want to know more about the world before determining specifics about what magic is allowed. But I don't think that we're far off from there. Okay. Let's clear out some of that. We need a name for these guys. We'll get to that eventually. We'll do a naming round later on. Let's start talking a little bit about what Mortalis is. I want to get to the shape of magic and what it can do, but without even knowing what the world is, it's hard to know what the magic in that world could look like. So, Mortalis. Physically, what is it? When I hear that, the first thing that comes to mind is Mauritania from RuneScape, which is like a swamp. I don't know why I'm getting like dingy vibes. Oh, RuneScape. Yeah, I love fucking RuneScape. God damn it. Kai says, could people use magic on objects like cars to make them go faster? I don't see why not. Vroom vroom. New Orleans. Going a whole 25 mile an hour car. Vroom vroom. I think there are two shapes that are coming to mind when I think about what Mortalis could be. One is a singular, large, like city-sized island surrounded by an infinite ocean of something. And another is, I still have moon stuff in my head from when we were talking about moon stuff earlier. But I don't think that really fits with the like 20s technology concept. Huh. Oh, easy. Mortalis is a giant city that is essentially a donut. And in the middle
is a bottomless pit that has a beam of faint light shooting out of it at all times. And that faint light is quite literally the source of magic that is being spewed out up into the atmosphere and over the city, and is indicative of just how powerful the waves of magic are right now based on how bright or dim the light is. And so there's just this giant beam of light shooting up at the center of this big circular city that just expands out pretty much into the horizon, and maybe outside city limits is just like endless jungle? Yeah? I'm gonna start going with that. The city. This is the main place in the world. Everything outside of it is basically just uninhabited jungle. It is a large donut shape, with the middle being a bottomless void that emanates a light, which is the literal manifestation of the waves of magic coming from Dragonia. What if the hole gets bigger due to the realms clashing? That is fascinating. That is a really good idea for a, as the power of the magic gets overwhelming, the edges of the pit begin to erode. I think it's a really, really great foreboding sort of like timer, like a natural timer of like, hey, the light was getting brighter and we thought that was good, and now there's earthquakes and the hole is expanding. That doesn't seem good. Like that could be a really great tell for like, that's not safe. Polar says, nice little plot device. Exactly. You can use the hole to add a sense of impending dread. Impending danger. Hell yeah. Robin says, yes, the thing that helps is magic and tech helping each other grow, keeping a balance somehow, like air pressure. Yeah, like trying to not let magic get too strong. Is this just Midgar from Final Fantasy VII? Am I supposed to know? Oh, hold on. FF7 Midgar. I don't immediately know. There's nothing. This has a big thing in the middle. My thing has nothing in the middle. So, aha, totally different. Crimson says, I really liked my idea of the magic being the fire breath from a dragon in Dragonia. I understand that a lot of people are going to have a lot of ideas. Sorry if I'm not reading every single thing. It's a lot to keep in my noggin and read, and also acknowledge every idea and try to lump it in. Not everything is going to be made canonical in whatever our world is. I highly encourage you all to modify and clone and tweak and change this to be exactly how you want it to be. That's why I want to put these out at the end of the stream. Is you can take it, you can modify it however you like. Go for it. This is this creative commons. I also like the idea of the magic being fire breath from a dragon in Dragonia. The main reason that I wouldn't do that right now is we've spent a lot of time building up sort of like a different concept for that. And yeah, not against it, but yeah. Isn't Midgard Earth? Oh yeah, Norse mythology. Okay. So we have sort of like a main city. Let's start doing some names, because we've got an increasing number of things that need names. Return to form is what I've been saying. I'm starting to get kind of used to that.
as a thing to say. Did we want Super Hell? I think we're getting rid of Super Hell, right? I think Super Hell kind of fell by the wayside because we decided to go with the Dragonborn thing instead. So let's just get rid of that. The Bad Religion. We can call it. Well, okay, hold on. Return to form. If you fuck up, should be called something else, right? If you fail to return to form, you become Dragonborn in a process called Draconic Reconstitution? Is that anything? I'm gonna start with that. See where it goes. I like the term reconstitution. We like that. We can have return to form be called upscaling. They return to the form of a dragon. Yeah, so when you... So, mortals in Mortalis, when they are all formerly dragons. They just don't know it. And when they die, well, if they die as a mortal, they just die. But if you can reconnect to your, like, dragon spirit, you can return to form as a dragon and return to Dragonia. Upscaling. I'm gonna say... The process of returning to form is colloquially referred to as upscaling. Polish says, doesn't reconstitution make it sound like they succeeded at returning to form? Or am I misunderstanding that word? There should probably be two words, actually. So, you become Dragonborn. The Bad Religion calls this reconstitution. The Good Religion calls this failed formation? Hello, Pneumatic says, I arise from the ashes. What's up? Welcome back. Good to see you. We are world building. Kaz says, upscaling is Dragonborn, reconstitution is return to form. Okay. I like that. Yeah. Oh, God. And the Good Religion, okay. Calls it failed formation. Return to form is called Draconic Reconstitution. Where are we at in the process? We are still very, very early. We haven't. We're working mostly in concepts of the shape of the like reality of this world and how things function. We haven't gotten to much in the way of like locations or specifics on magic or people or notable figures. We just have like sort of some of the major player factions and the basic concept for life and death and the universe. So, you know, the small stuff. Salmon says, The Rise to Polaris, just a name I thought of. For what? A name for this? Also, let's see. Okay, so the Good Religion and the Bad Religion need a name still. So how about Scalar moon. Scalar moon. Okay. I kind of like Rise of Polaris. Father Hell as the evil ones. Kat says, opinion since you mentioned cities. I think they shouldn't have anything to do with dragons. I like the idea that they were founded / named before the draconic stuff kicked off. Yeah, I think that's fine. I don't think it needs to. I don't think that everything needs to be a dragon reference. You know. That help was to Scalar Moon. Scales of the Decayed. So I like scales of something. I really like that. Decayed. So this religion or this like way of life or whatever believes that the right thing to do is become Dragonborn by way of failing to reconstitute. What exactly are we naming right now? I think we're naming the bad religion. So, Scales of Goonin. Kev says, I am confusion. Kev, did you like just join in? In which case, makes sense. Scales of Light. Could be, I mean, this is a little too on the nose, but like, Scales of Power? Scales of Might? Scales of Life? Maybe, like Brilliance? Scales of Brilliance? Scales of the Illuminated? I like Brilliance. Illuminated Scales. Maybe, I think Scales should be the last word. I like that. I like what Trips did there. Brilliant Scales is a little, doesn't sound wonderful. Scales of the Forlorn. But Forlorn also implies like negative. I feel like they believe that they are righteous and powerful. So like, they would probably name themselves something that would project confidence and power in being Dragonborn. So like, weighted scales. You guys just want to be able to call it Illuminati. Scales of Retribution. Weave of Scales? That's hard to say. Weave of Scales. That's hard to say. Order of Scales? Iridescent Scales. What is... hold on. We're obviously having trouble
in coming up with the perfect thing. So we're going to use a tool, a thing that I do. Here you go. This is perfect. This is a perfect example of we're having trouble naming a thing. So let's get some inspo. Here we go. Okay. So we're going to look up like reptilian terms and see what happens. Reptile. Searching reptile. Wikipedia. All right. I'm seeing tetrapods. I'm seeing cold-blooded, ectothermic. We can do something with that. We can do something with squamata. Squamata? Squamata? Molting. Yeah, molting is a thing that we could possibly... Like, I feel like there's something in the space of molting, right? Where they're, like, shedding their former form and becoming dragonborn. Wait, what is this? Ew. Let's see. Scales of the molted. See, that actually interesting. Let's see if we like this. Scales of the molted. Order of the Malted Scale. Order of the Malted Scale? They've shed all their fake scales to ascend. I'm seeing nah, and I'm seeing I'm a fan. So that it seems we're split still. Order of the second scales. Your true form. You've already finished. You finished your one form, and now you enter your true form. This is a tough one. I haven't had this much trouble coming up with a faction name in a long time. Like, a long time. Let's go back. Let me take another look at the Yeah, we need to name the other religion too. We've got some work ahead of us. What are the second scales? Wait a minute. I have half of a name. I have the word soul scale, which is perfect. It's soul scale, but something soul scale something. Something soul scale. Soul scale syndicate? No, because it's like supposed to be like a Soul Scale Society. And then a person who's a member of the Soul Scale Society is just called a Soul Scale. Soul Scale. Soul Scale. Order of the Soul Scales. Okay. Order of the Soul Scales. Crimson, I'm very sorry that you don't like it. I'm gonna move on.
I can't take no's. This is not a nah kind of space. This is a yes and kind of space. If something is nah, keep it to yourself. Okay, Order of the Soul Scales. We're gonna do that for now. We're gonna move on. All right, the good religion. So these guys want to actually turn back into dragons. Cryptid says, secret of getting to making something, get all the stuff out, nah it later. Yeah, like nah is not a helpful thing. Nah is it impedes the steps that you need to take to get to where you want to be. And so I by myself or working with other people would much rather get something down, acknowledge that it's not perfect, and come back to it later because you can. Like, not just because it's written doesn't mean it's done. I want to be very clear about that. So would prefer a collaborative yes and kind of a space in general. That's all I'm getting at here. Scales of Transcendence. Ooh. Possible other name. Scales of Transcendence. Okay. Hard to do with my neurodivergency? Well, I regret to inform you that I'm fairly certain literally every single person in this chat is neurodivergent. So if everybody could just do a little bit of trying to, you know, help each other out, it'd be very helpful to have yes anding going on is all. Hydrate. I can hydrate. Thank you. Sad Smile, welcome to chat. Says a Scale of Transcendence could be a unique item for the race. Interesting. Interesting. Very interesting. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe the order, and the reason that this is happening so much now, the reason that so many people are easily able to become Dragonborn is they've discovered this relic, or they've found a way, they passed a barrier with the prevalence of magic in this world to be able to create a trinket that makes it easier to do, which cheapens, yeah, good, we got a MacGuffin, which cheapens the whole entire concept, and it's why they're becoming, the whole situation is botched, right? Like, the transcendence is supposed to be returning to form as a dragon, but they think that they found a shortcut, but that shortcut is just reinforcing its own destabilization. I love this. Thank you very much, Sad Smile. So let's just say Scale of Transcendence. Some kind of MacGuffin, which helps make it easier to become Dragonborn, used by Order of the Soul Scales. Is a MacGuffin a red herring? A MacGuffin is a term for inexplicable magic item that solves every problem or is plot important, and it doesn't matter why. A perfect example of a MacGuffin is Baldur's Gate 3, the prism that Shadowheart has. That is a MacGuffin. That is pure MacGuffin. It is a relic or object of significance. Why? Don't worry about it. Like, they explain it in that game. It's still a MacGuffin. Like, it can have an explanation that makes sense. Still a MacGuffin. Do you think we can look into dragon folklore to name the good religion since they want to become dragons? That would make sense. Let's go ahead and start there. Let's look at... Origins of dragon folklore. I want to go like as far back as we can.
I was always told that the MacGuffin is the object that the heroes are striving for. Usually it's just like thing of significance, right? Like thing of unknown power or significance or plot relevance. All right, let's see. Got some Smithsonian, origins of dragon mythology. Okay, y'all, look, okay. Okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I don't want to be a hater. This is one of the goofiest dragons I've ever seen. This is a goofy dragon. Can we agree this is a goofy dragon? Look at this goofy boy. Goofy ass dragon. The Sacred Wings. The Sacred Wings is a really good start. I'm gonna write that down to start. Sacred Wings. That's really good. Hold on. Excellent. Deucin. Deucin. What's up? Welcome. Dinosaurs. Could be the source of dragons. Whales? Ancient humans encountering whale bones would have no way of knowing that these animals were sea-based. Okay, this is a boring article. Not gonna lie, that spooked me. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to spook you. I did mean to spook you. I vote for Sacred Wings. I do like Sacred Wings quite a bit. English heritage, dragons and their origins. See, now that's a Dargan. I can get down with this Dargan, right? That's a good looking Dargan, right? I just want to take a couple more passes at like actual lore stuff real quick, but just to see if any words jump out. Cryptid says, "Hey Dev, can I share a Dargan? Ancient humans want a bunch of dummies." Fortunately, these dangerous fire drakes are quite rare. Most frequently encountered type of dragon in English folklore is the creeping and poisonous kind, just like me. Hello, creeping and poisonous. Hello, Undead Reader 247. Thank you. Cryptid says, does Discord have an art channel? I can drop my dragons in there. I did 2 really neat ones. Absolutely. Yes, there is an art channel in my Discord, and you should definitely be in my Discord, where there's also a world building channel. All right. So let's do... Let's do Sacred Wings for now. Mostly because I'm going to be wrapping up the stream here shortly. So there's that. Spitting venom on the mic. Hell yeah. Dev, I didn't know you were venomous. I am venomous. I actually have like a really pointy whatever these guys are. I should be a vampire. Canine. That's what it is. Robin says, Kaz, you're writing a comedy and I'm writing a horror, apparently. And that's, honest to God, here's the thing that I would love to see if I release the Obsidian Vault for this and folks do end up taking it and modifying it to like their preferences and their ideas and whatnot. I would just love to see what each person does with it. You know, like I would love to see what, like, if someone takes it and they've got a penchant for horror, or someone takes it, they've got a penchant for comedy, someone takes it, they've got a penchant for sci-fi and they want to tweak it so that it's more of a sci-fi kind of vibe. I would just love to see where everyone takes this world and how they make it their own. Cryptid says, I put my dragon in the art channel. You're welcome to either of them. Put my dragon rider in there. Here, let's see. Let's do this. Pull up the where's the canvas that we made? That was in
world information. There's the one dragon. Let's see. Got some Dargans. Copy. Paste. Copy. Paste. I love obsidian so freaking much. Okay, so here's one Dargan from Cryptid. And here's another Dargan from Cryptid. I should just use obsidian to run all of my streams. Undead Reader says, thank you for the shout out. Glad to join. Welcome into chat. So glad that you are here. These are amazing. Cryptid, these are amazing. Like, look at this. That's a good dragon. Oh, I like the aw. Do you want a bowl of stuff, dragon? And the dragon's like, I do not even acknowledge you. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna voice these characters. Hello, dragon. Do you want a bowl of stuff? Praise. I literally don't even know who you are. I'm just trying to sleep. Why are you constantly bringing me bowls of things? Because I thought that you might want a bowl. I thought that it was a good idea and a bowl full of stuff. I literally just want to sleep. Please, get the fuck out of my face. And that's the story. That's the story of this dragon. So, you know, there's that. Amazing. If I was a dragon, I would love a bowl of stuff. Well, Pneumatic, that's because you're a much more engaging dragon than this guy. So. Cryptid was gifted a sub by Trips. Thank you, Trips. Thank you so very much. All right. So I want to start to sort of like put a pin in things. We will return to this world next week as well. But let's do a quick bit of organization. Kind of close everything down, and then we'll review what we built, and we'll talk about what we did. So, okay. I'm going to make a locations folder. The city. We probably want a items. Scale of transcendence. Radio would go to concepts. Magic would go to concepts. Okay, so this is what we built today. This hierarchy of stuff. Let's take a look at our graph. This is what we built today. The hype. I'm not gonna get rid of this. This is staying here. This is not going away. The web of stuff that we made today, just conceptualizing the basics of what is the what is the shape of this entire concept. We came up with the notion of these two planes of existence. One is Dragonia and one is Mortalis. Dragonia is populated entirely with these sort of like ethereal spiritual dragons that inherently, by simply existing and simply flapping their wings and altering reality by way of just living, are producing magic, which typically doesn't extend past Dragonia, but sometimes can go past there into other planes, such as Mortalis. Something has been pushing dragons out of Dragonia and into Mortalis, where dragons cannot exist, which has them becoming random mortal beings, anything from a human to a centipede, or a human centipede. If you die as a mortal in Mortalis, you just die. If you if you are able to reconnect with your dragon spirit, which you don't know exists, as a mortal in Mortalis, you can ascend and return to form, and you can perform a draconic reconstitution in which you are no longer immortal and you head back to Dragonia as a dragon, remembering everything. Alternatively, if you botch that process, you become a sort of half dragon human thing, a dragonborn, and a religious order has cropped up around that, thinking that that is the peak form of existence, and that is what
we should be striving for is converting ourselves into Dragonborn. Everyone in this world has a concept of a dragon, but doesn't really know why. But the reason why is because we all used to be dragons. And so now we have two differing views of life. One is reconstitution, the other is upscaling, turning into a Dragonborn. The prevalence of the Dragonborns in this world are causing the law that dragons can't exist in Mortalis. That magical law is at odds with the increasing prevalence of Dragonborn, which is breaking down the reality between these planes and causing the waves of magic from Dragonia to increase in power and prevalence in Mortalis, which has been increasing the strength of magic, which has been a positive feedback loop for the people who think that they should become Dragonborn, because they're becoming Dragonborn and getting more powerful, and magic is getting more powerful as there are more Dragonborn. The reality is that magic is going to be unstable and dangerous at this rate. And so there's an existential threat to reality if that order continues, despite many people believing that they are doing the right thing. And we haven't even touched locations or politics or notable historic figures or the races that take up this world. We haven't touched any of that. And we came up with so much interesting shit today. This is why I love world building. This is why this is the thing I like to do with my time and energy. I thank you all so ridiculously much for sharing this time with me. Like, this was an incredible exercise in group collaboration and just riffing off of each other. The amount of things that people suggested, someone else took and tweaked, and then we ultimately found a new way to fit it into the world. Beautiful. Absolutely amazing. It is so excellent to see someone be like, what about this? And someone be like, what about this? And the person who originally suggested it was like, yes, that actually. Like, what is difficult, I think, and was difficult for me for a long time in collaborative settings like this, was to wrest control. To come up with an idea and someone dovetails and then liking that other idea more than my own. It's humbling in a way to not have come up with the best idea. But I learned to not see it that way and instead see it as we are working together as like a cohesive unit, bouncing off of each other. And none of us would have gotten to anywhere if it wasn't for our collective imaginations working together. And so we have something that's better than what any one of us could have made in isolation. Yay, teamwork, I think is what I'm saying here. Trip says, existence requires balance, and this is making things unbalanced. Indeed. Indeed. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and close down Obsidian. That was our first ever World Building Wednesday. I've got a couple of announcements though, so we can talk about that before I sign off for the night. First things first, amazing. You may have noticed, a keen viewer would have noticed this. There's a new URL that you can use for my merch store, merchfrom.dev. If you want to check out my merch store, it's still shop.endeavorance.camp, but I got bored one day and I set up merchfrom.dev, and that will take you to my merch store as well. Where is .dev? I don't know what that is asking. I guess it's just, that's the website. It's merchfrom.dev. But yeah, you can check out my merch store. There's merch. It's great. I'm working on a few new designs. I got a couple of setbacks, but that's okay. I've got one design that I think people are gonna really like that I'm gonna need to find a I'm gonna need to work with a few people, but or to figure out exactly how I want to make this work. But I collected like 40 Stuff Keeps Happening openers and just put them all in a giant
blob of text, and then at the bottom is but stuff still happened. So it's just like all of my openers from like months of stuff keeps happening, followed by but stuff keeps happening. Kaz says, aren't they all like codes for countries, or was I lied to? No, you were lied to. The 2-digit or the 2-letter domain names are countries. So your .io, .ca, .us, .ly, those are all countries. Anything else besides the 2 letters are just generic domain names. And for a while, there were just a few domain names, but about, I want to say a decade ago or so, there was a big expansion of available domain name types. So you can get like .gay and .apartments. So where's IO for? I want to say, I don't want to embarrass myself. Yeah, Indian Ocean. It's the British Indian Ocean Territory. So, yeah. Hardly Mythical says, oh lordy, I forgot I existed. Been playing Fortnite Lego Minecraft thing. Damn. Do you think we can end the stream on a raid? I have a good raid recommendation by the name of Salty Fish. Let me check out that channel real quick. I do not know this person. I'm probably not going to raid them. I appreciate the suggestion. I have a weird issue with raiding people I don't know, and I probably need to get over that at some point, but personal boundary kind of thing. Cool. Let's see. Thoughts and notions and whatnot. I'm really excited about a lot of stuff that's happening right now. I'm working on some stuff that is deeply, deeply, deeply exciting. I talked about it last time. It's in the space of like Theater Arcane. And if you want, it's in the space of building a TTRPG, as I was talking about last stream. If you want insight into like, as I'm building it, and early access to resource materials and opportunity to potentially like test run it and whatnot, you can join my Patreon, which is there. In addition to all of that, I also post behind the scenes vlogs, updates, and you can get all of the Stuff Keeps Happening bonus content on my Patreon as well. So either way works. So yeah, great way to support me. That or merch, excellent way to support me. Fuller says, what genre is it, if you can say? Like fantasy, sci-fi? Hard to say. I am going to be... It's difficult to explain, but it is largely going to be fantasy-ish and also specifically built to be extended and homebrewed on top of to bring whatever setting you want to bring. I'm specifically designing it to be very, very easy to customize to any setting. So yeah, I've got plans. Okay. I'll probably talk more about that on Friday and give a bit more insight into like what I'm actually making, but we'll see. Depends a lot. Anyway, I'm exhausted. This was super, super, super fun. And I'm also exhausted. Trip says, I love the galley tracking. Will there be one for other track stats? I am excited to say that I am also turning my eyes back to the lodge. I'll be making some announcements at some point about improvements coming to the campgrounds and the lodge at large. Oh, Madeline's streaming? Hold on. If Maddie's streaming, oh no. Okay, Maddie's streaming. We're gonna raid Maddie. All right. Okay. We're raiding Maddie. We love Maddie here. Our playlist just ended. This is perfect. Thank you all so very much for being here. on our first World Building Wednesday ever. I'm thrilled with how this went. We'll return to this world next week, and we will expand on it. It's going to be great. We need a raid command. Our raid command is going to be, Maddie, you're amazing. I want everyone to love bomb Maddie. I want everyone to just you can do Maddie, you're amazing, or you can come up with whatever poetic description for how incredible Maddie is that you would like. Attention! We are being raided. Hello. Look who's out here re-upping their sub like some kind of hero. I'm literally... This is perfect. This is perfect. Hey, everyone. Hey, everyone. I was actively... Hello. Hey, everyone raiding in from Diana's stream. Hello, hello. How is it going? It is so wonderful to see you. My name is Endeavorance, and also... I am actively closing my stream down, and we are about to raid Maddie. So, now that we're all here, everyone stay put. And what I was just telling my stream, and for now everybody who just came in on the raid, please be aware that the command for raiding Maddie's stream, we're going to be running over to Maddie's stream. I need everybody to love bomb her. I want you to come up with something poetic, something beautiful to describe how incredible her soul is. So, here we go. Raid Mad. There she is. Okay. Start raid. Thank you all so much for being here. And to everybody who just got here from Diana's stream, hello and goodbye. We have just built a world filled with dragons and people converting back and forth between dragons and whatnot. It was a good time. Come back on Wednesday next week to do more stuff in that world. Take care. Be well. You're all amazing. Hello. And be sure to follow. And goodbye.
Our minds.